Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. It is very early in the morning. The sun just came up. We are coming out this morning because here in north central Arkansas we have had excessive heat warnings a lot lately, and we're under yet another one today, and so I am getting an early start this morning to hopefully get some chores done this morning. My plan is to get the ponies out into their pastures because I will be around today. I am working today, but I will be around. So I'm going to get the horses out to the pastures, and we are going to probably build some more pastures yet again today and pick up some more pastures, as well as do some seeding. I am just going through watering my plants this morning, giving them a nice healthy drink of water before the heat hits us. We are 6 o'clock in the morning and we are 78 degrees already. So a lot of these plants haven't had much of a reprieve from the heat. Truly amazing how quickly these troughs turn green in the summertime. And this trough has only been sitting in its spot for 6 days. I mean, I've only filled it one time, and look at how green that water is. It's crazy. Okay. Let that fill. I've already got all of the fly blankets, all their clothes moved, and I'm gonna go get my electric fence cart. And well, first I'm gonna see if I can start the tractor and get it moved. I'm having tractor mechanical issues. And it died last night right in front of the gate. Of course it did. I mean, of all places. Of course it died right in front of the gate. So I'm gonna see if I can move it out of my way, and I'll work on it tonight or when I have time. I worked on it a little bit last night, and what I did didn't fix it. So anyway, I'll get into that later. That is one thing about having a farm. There's always something to fix, and especially if it's my farm, because I have a tendency to be hard on equipment, and so something's always broken around here. First things always first, feed the dogs so they get out from underneath my feet. And because it's early, we will bring Miss Bossa her breakfast in the house. Bee, breakfast. Whoa, there you go. And around Bee, thank you all for your prayers, concerns, and beautiful, kind comments. The Bee is feeling much, much better. In fact, I'm having to make her take breaks in this heat. I'm still mildly worried about her getting dehydrated being out here with me. So I make her go in and take breaks in the AC, but as far as she's concerned, she's pretty much knocking down the door to go back to work. So thank you very much for all of your prayers and comments and concerns and wonderful feel goods. Good morning. You guys get to go out today. I hope I get to it. Good morning. Oh, Velvet, you didn't like your stall where it was again, huh? Okay, it's gonna be another hot one, you guys. I am going to go build a pasture real quick and then I'll come get you. Of course, I say real quick and then I look at that and I think I gotta do that because it's kind of right in the way. So I'm gonna see if it'll fire, and if it will, I'm gonna see if I can get it out of the way. I did get that much of the compost pile moved last night, which is good. I'm gonna check. I believe it's a fuel issue, and I took this line off last night and blew it out with the help of Mr. Wonderful, and I don't think it's a filter issue because, I mean, it's nice and pink diesel in there, but what we're worried about is that it's this filter, and then I may need to take this filter off. I don't know. As a dog groomer, I am so far removed from being a mechanic. This kind of stuff is just, it is so beyond my brain power and my desire. Like, it just, all it really does is tick me off. But at the same time, I'm the one who's using the equipment. 9 times out of 10, I'm the one who's breaking it. So I feel a responsibility to at least put in an effort. But man, it's a struggle sometimes, you guys. Man. All right, come on, baby, fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Well, I guess it's not gonna start this morning, which is a total bummer, but I don't have a ton of time to spend on it this morning. So it's all right. I can still get the horses out and we can still get by, and it's not a day that, well, unless the UPS guy comes, but it's 4th of July, so I'm hoping the UPS guy has the day off. Nobody will be using this driveway, so it will sit there. Okay, hello trusty cart. Let's go to work. Looks like our water's full. Really? I get to here and I can't get any more? Okay, because it's the morning that I'm having. See what I mean about the woods? You know, I was telling you that the reason why I'm letting the horses out there is just because they're much taller than I am. And they can reach the limbs, and I'm just asking them to limb up the trees for me, to where I can still get down there. There's things I like to forage down there at the end of summer. There's some beauty berries down there. And I like to just be able to get to all of my fence lines. And so you can, I don't know if you guys remember when I first started putting the horses out there, but you can see how much they've just cleaned it up. About, 7 feet tall. That's all I need, because I'm pretty short. So I was just standing here looking. I was actually looking through the trees at the neighbor's cows, across the street walking, and thought to myself, oh wow, they did a really good job. Just cleaning up about 6 or 7 feet high. That's all I need. All right, this will be Josie's pen for the day. She's not going to be ecstatic. There's nothing here. I'll give her some hay. She'll clean up whatever little bit of grass is left in here, and which is great because this is my garden area. Okay, back to work. This should be fairly simple. I need to run a line from that little eye bolt thing, electric fence eye bolt, all the way down. It's a straight shot to cut this big pin in half, basically, is what I'm gonna end up doing. Okay. There it is, all the way down. So I do still have some posts left, and I am going to build more fence, but without further ado, I am going to get the kids out. They were stuck inside all day yesterday because I had mobile doggy nail trims off the farm all day. So I am going to let them out first thing this morning, and I will finish working while they are out. 7:22 in the morning, you guys. This is the joy of living in the South. Yeah. My glasses are fogging up. I've got sweat in my eyeball. Yeah. I need to go get them. Also today, everybody is getting wormed with Duravet ivermectin. So I'm gonna get all these pulled out and ready for me to give them to them as they get their morning fly spray before they go out. I will explain a little bit of that. So I try to worm my animals every 3 months. I am not against natural worming. In fact, that was a big part of how I wormed in Oregon. However, here in Arkansas, the pest pressure is just, it's just far larger. It is crazy, you guys, how many bugs we have here. I have a lot of older horses, and I just don't, we have had horses in the past doing natural worming that have gotten loaded with parasites and have, you know, in turn then gotten very sick. So in the case of worming, my horses, my livestock basically, my dogs, you know, they go to the vet for their stuff. But for the horses, I worm every 3 months. I try to rotate wormers so that the parasites don't get immune to them. And that's why I kind of just tell you guys, this is what I'm worming with this time around. But I do worm every 3 months here. In Oregon, I was able to get away with worming every spring and every summer. So I would worm March and June. And this is actually their June wormer. I am a month late on theirs because I had to order it. And you know, life happens. I'm not perfect. But just being, you know, fully transparent and, you know, also letting you guys know, this is what I do. It's not necessarily what I think you should do. And it's, you know, I'm not here to tell you that this is what I think you should do. I don't know where you live. I mean, parasite pressure might be completely different in Alaska than it is in Arkansas. I know it was different in Oregon. So, you know, do what is best for your animals, your morals, your protocols, your property in your area. But this is what I'm doing here in North Central Arkansas. You're not going to be very happy with me today. You need to get a little treat before you go outside. Look at those ears. Those ears say everything. Also, pro tip, when you take, today, I took 5 wormers out of the box, set them on the table, had them all ready, and I took 5 cookies, horse cookies. Put the wormer in their mouth, let them let their licks a couple times. And of course, this is stating the obvious for some people, but not for others. Chance, could you please, allow me to lead? Thank you. Make sure there's nothing in their mouth when you worm them. And then give them the wormer, let them lick their lips a couple times, give them the cookie. Make it a good experience. I've been doing that way for years. And the only one that still gives me trouble is Velvet, and that's only if I don't have a cookie to follow. So 5 wormers, 5 cookies. So far, 4 down, no problems. I was just walking back to the barn and I passed the Big Tex trailer, and that's where the dogs hang out when it's really hot in the afternoon. It's underneath that trailer. And it just dawned on me, this might be the hottest day of the year so far. We'll see what it does, but yesterday we had a heat index of 103. We'll see if we beat that today, but as of 7:49 this morning, it feels like it might. See if I can set you guys up where you can see this, maybe. I spray first. And of course, you won't sit still for the whole thing. That would just be against your nature. Are you gonna make a liar out of me today? Huh. Well, I could be made a liar out of worse things. Thank you, Maggie. All right, let's see. Need the people to be able to see you. No. Come back. Come back. I know. Of course, we always claim that nothing here is staged. That is like sometimes I have to ask the horse to stand in a certain spot so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Come here. No, ma'am. She knows. I hope you guys catch this on video. So, Wormer. Let her lick a few times. Cookie. Done. Happy. Can't tell you how many people over the years of me, you know, worming my horses in different ways, different areas. You know, a lot of times I will worm them when I groom them in their stalls. And I don't put a halter on for it. I just walk up and worm them. And they always ask me, you know, that is a very common thing for horses to hate. Like, that can be a very common thing for people to argue about with their horses. And that is just something that I have found across the board, for the most part, to work very well. So if it helps anybody out there, great. If it doesn't, then I'm sorry. I hope you have a good day. Maggie, let me through. These guys are a little rude this morning. Miss Grace is gonna get herself a little bit of a roll this morning. Feels good. She's been sweating for 2 days straight. So that must feel really good. Oh, yes. All right, so Miss Grace and Velvet and Josie, you can't see Jose, are on that side. And on this side we have Maggie and Chance. So I'm gonna keep setting up pastures with what I have left in my wheelbarrow, and then I've got my boots on today so I can go down in the woods and pick up what hot wire's down there. And believe me when I say I want to get out of these boots. They're insulated, they're hot, but I've got them on because I'm going down in the woods, and it's just smart to wear boots down in the woods because of the snakes. So I'd rather be cautious, but I really would like to put on a pair of tennis shoes, and that will help me cool off immensely. So I'm gonna get the rest of this wheelbarrow emptied out, and then we'll go about filling it back up. Okay, I got another paddock fenced off, and I know that sometimes it can be confusing, but this would be the new one that I just fenced off. Maggie is in that one right there, and Chance is actually in that one right there. You could call them lanes, you could call them row pastures, you can call them sections, however you want to call it, but basically just fencing off sections of pasture at a time. And then it gets a bit confusing over here because I have to fence around my fruit trees, and of course the horse trailer. I don't need them getting into the horse trailer. So this will go right here, and had to remember that if you guys watched the last video, unless I undo the gate on that side over there next to the barn, this wire is still very much hot. So hooking up that gate was an experience, shocking experience. So this will be the third pasture that Maggie will move into tomorrow. Chance will move into Maggie's, Gracie will move into Chance's, Velvet will move into Gracie's, Josie's will move into Velvet's, and so on and so forth. And for those of you who did not watch yesterday's video, yes, I'm aware, I am grazing horses in my front yard. To me, front yards are more worthwhile having as food, either for ourselves or for our animals, than they are keeping perfectly manicured. As you can see, I'm not super worried about keeping my yard perfectly manicured, so if it's gonna look like pasture, I might as well use it like pasture. Also, just a little side note tip for you guys, if it helps somebody, great. Make sure that you have gates where you want to disconnect your heat on your hot wire. So I told you back there, and I was just standing at that gate right back there, that this line is hot, and this line stays hot all the way down to right there. And then I can disconnect the heat here, okay? And then my other two gates are not hot. Now those two pastures are completely not hot. So I've got disconnection lines from my heat. It's important. And you know, now that I say that, I know that Mr. Wonderful is probably one of those people that might argue this. And he has a very valid point that if he argues it, he might say, yeah, you're absolutely right. But he just popped into my brain and went, but the least amount of disconnects that you have in between your charger and your whole hot wire, the least amount of disconnects that you have, the hotter your fence will be. It's the least amount of places that you have for your fence to short out. So, catch 22. I choose to have disconnects in certain places because I'm doing so many separate pastures. I like to have disconnects in convenient places. However, keep in mind, every time you create a disconnect, you are taking away from the strength of your charge in your fence. So, to each his own, you decide what's best for you. As always, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Here, I'm on the other side, and I just came upon this because I'm headed down to the woods, and I haven't shut this yet. And this pasture is not being used right now. It's been used, it's done being used. Josie is the last horse in line. However, this gives me a perfect example to show you. This gate right here is the connection to all of the pastures over here. Without this gate attached, none of these pastures are hot. So all I have to do is attach this gate, and actually goes right here, right there. And now Josie's pasture, Velvet's pasture, and Gracie's pastures are hot. But they weren't hot before because a lot of them don't have gates on them. I just have them tied because it is so temporary. I don't need to have gates on them. Well, I can't tie the hot wire, the hot tape, if it's hot. So that's just another perfect example. This is actually another example. Now that these two are disconnected, because my hot wire is way down the line that way, now, again, nothing from here over is hot. All of that to say, just think about where you want to put your gates, you guys, and think about how you want to attach your gates. I, for one, attached this gate backwards. I should have attached it the other way. However, when you're putting up hot wire, it does take some thought, and I mean, it doesn't. You can just put it up willy-nilly and get used to it as you go. God knows I'm doing that here. But you can also think about what's convenient for you, and if you want to be able to disconnect sections of it by the ease of just disconnecting a gate instead of walking all the way to the other side of the property to the charger and unplugging it or turning it off or what have you. It's nice to be able to just unhook a gate and then that whole section's not hot. So I'm headed down to the woods. Aha! The case of the missing fly mask resolved. And it is a foot away from the neighboring fence. I am way down in the woods. And yes, it was Chance. That is Chance's fly mask. I've already ordered him a new one, but now he has two. Here is one of my beauty berries. And this is what I am looking forward to harvesting. These are just the very beginnings of the flowers, and the berries are they're a lot like elderberries as far as size goes, but they're bright pink, and they have a very mild floral taste, and I'd like to make some beauty berry jelly this year out of them. And there's a couple more bushes right up there, and there is another bush right there, a decent sized one. So, and my neighbor also has some too that she said she wouldn't mind me picking off of, but the horses don't eat them, so that's good. And it is now cleared to where I can get to them. Hey, I'm just saying, if you have something in your mouth that can make you sick, our funds have been completely tapped out by Bossy. I'm not taking you to the doctor. Rumor. I don't think she cares. For those of you who don't know, we just spent about 6 days with our Chihuahua being very, very sick, and I pretty much tapped out the wallet with vet bills. So every time somebody puts something in their mouth, I'm like, hey, I'm just telling you, I'm out of money. We can't be rushing to the vet. It's 4th of July weekend. We can't, we can't just be sticking random things in our mouths and hoping that they don't make us sick. Farm dogs, they'll keep you on your toes. Okay, almost done. I just have one more line to pick up, and we are done with this part of the property for a while. It is my least favorite part to fence and unfence. This is like my workout for the week, going up and down this hill in the rocky terrain. And anywho, it's my favorite part of the property because it is our only woods, and it is quiet, and well, it's not quiet with traffic, but it's like where the most wildlife is. And I mean, I saw a lizard down here, the frogs are croaking, the birds, are going back and forth, and it's wonderful down here, but at the same time, it's just really rough terrain. So I'll be glad to be out of here for a while and on to the other side of the property. So I'm gonna pick up that one more line and pick up my seeding bucket. I did seed this, so we'll see what comes up. Pretty sparsely because I don't have a ton of confidence, but I could not be here, be working in this area, have it all tilled up by the horses and not put seed down. Because ideally I would eventually like to turn this into silbo pasture. But that's gonna take some work. So it does need a lot of work, but slowly but surely we are working on it, and it's time for me to say goodbye to it for a few months. I'm sick of it. I mean, just being honest with you guys, I love my property and I love everything that it has to offer, but I don't need to come back down here until I think those beauty berries are ready. One more thing about my wooded area. You see that tree that Missy Rimmer is under? It is not a bonsai tree, but it feels a lot like my own personal little bonsai tree. It is just one of those trees that of all of these trees stands out, and it looks like my own little bonsai tree. Yes, I'm a sappy romantic about my plants and my property, and I view the world a little differently than some people do. But that little tree moves my heart, and I felt I needed to share it with you. All right, Gracie's breakfast, Maggie's breakfast, Velvet's breakfast. It's time to get them their breakfast out in their pasture and the ones that need it hay. Loaded for bear. Here we go. By the way, this 2-wheel wheelbarrow is awesome for feeding out in pastures. The only thing that'd be better than this is a side-by-side. So I'm gonna say this is the poor man's side-by-side. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for coming along with me this morning while I moved pastures yet again and did some of my morning chores. I am going to go to work, and then when I get off work, I will try to make another video for you guys so that you can come along with me again on my day here on the farm. I hope you guys have a great one. Catch you on the next one. Yours truly.